What's going on YouTube? My name is Chris and welcome to my channel. My channel is all about snacks and gaming. In today's video I jump back into my gaming library and pick one of my favorite survival games. As the title already says, we're gonna check out Conan Exiles, how to survive the first day, some of the settings, the leveling system, the crafting, and as well as hunting and fighting. But first, let's check out the intro, which already gives us some useful information in what to expect.
First, they took your family and your riches. Then they took your health and your pride. Finally, they left you to die. What will you do, exile, when there is nothing left but to live or die? Now that you've chosen, what will you become?
So in the menu, first thing we see is the online option. Once we hit that, we see three options. First, we have PvP, player versus player. Is pretty much everything counts, unless you're using a private server, which I will explain in later videos. Then we have PvE conflict, which is similar to player versus player, with the one difference: gamers can only attack each other to certain times and buildings cannot be damaged. Last option, we have PvE, player versus environment. Player can team up with each other and fight exile lands together. Next up, we have single player or active co-op, which gives you the option to play with friends without having people join from any other online sessions. So Fallout thinks it's okay to charge people for that, so thumbs up for Conan. In the settings, you have everything what you would expect. You have the control, audio and graphic settings. Rent a server is also an option, which I haven't looked into it yet, since I usually just play on my own. Setting up everything is very important, especially for the first time. Once we press the single player mode, it gives you several difficulty options. Let's check those. First, we have easy, gain experience faster, less eating and drinking, food doesn't spoil as fast, more damage to enemies, less to you, faster, thrall converting, you do not drop items on death, building do not get abandoned after time, and purge will not attack you. So pretty much for people who haven't played survival games that much. Next, we have normal. This is pretty much the baseline to the Conan Exile experience. You will drop items on death and must go to your body to recover them. Buildings also do not get abandoned after time, but however the purge will attack you periodically. The next option, and pretty much the last option, I would recommend you to choose when you play the game the first time, is hard. Here you can see enemies do significantly more damage and are definitely harder to kill. You gain experience only from your action, not simply just surviving. Surviving is also harder to get on resources like rocks or wood. And here again, the purge will periodically attack you as well. And at this stage, I have to give you a big warning sign. When you see the custom option, don't do anything at the beginning. You can screw up the game like big time. So don't touch it at the beginning. We're gonna go in detail with that option in later videos. Conan Exile is pretty much based on the comic books. So whoever wrote those books will see familiar names or creatures. I myself, I haven't read any of the comic books from Conan, and I've spoke to some of the players already in on Facebook or on Twitter, and a lot of players playing Conan haven't read the comics either. For those who have read it, the next step can be quite easy since they know all the background stories. But for me and for the rest of the players who haven't read the comics, character setting up can take a little bit time, but it will give you useful information about all the races and religion in the game. And to be honest, I wouldn't even dare to try to pronounce some of the names in the game. I would just embarrass myself with my funny accent and might end up in one of those funny videos on YouTube. But as in a lot of games these days, you are left at the beginning with choosing who you want your character to be or what he should look like. I have to say, the first time I was setting up the game, I spent nearly 2.5 hours just setting up everything and choosing everything for my character, which completely ruined my mood to play the game, and I had to come back another day. Even for this video, it took me quite some time. I think the timeline said 19 minutes just to get everything together. So keep that in mind when playing it the first time. I haven't put nearly as many hours into Conan as I have into Fallout, so I'm still figuring things out as I go along. I have started the game several times and chosen different races and different religions, but unfortunately, I haven't seen any differences yet into the races. So I can assume it is purely a cosmetic change to the character. However, for choosing the religion, I would recommend you to read everything really careful, since, as many of you know, in Conan Exile, when everything is properly set up, you can summon gods. Gods which then will destroy and conquer for you. So choosing the god you want to be appearing seems kind of important, but in the building plans and game walkthroughs I've watched on YouTube, and I gathered some information on Wikipedia as well. I've seen some different changes you can do to your character in game when everything is here also is set up correctly. The gamer can choose different religion and can in-game convert his own character. And when it comes to myself, when I play survival games, which gives you the option to choose different cultures or religion, I usually go with the biggest and the toughest one. In this case, I think they are called Nordenheimer. So I'm picking those, and also I'm picking the god which goes with those races. So let's check out one of the gods. Let's check out the god of the Nordheimer race. The name is Emir, and his avatar is a frost giant. Let's read a little bit through it. Emir is the lord of war and storm. Frost giants are said to be the male children of Emir, and his daughter Atali is said to be haunt the battlefields of men, luring them into their death in the frozen waters way up north. According to Nordenheimer's stories, when a warrior falls in battle, they go to Valhalla, the great feasting hall of Ymir, to feast and fight forever. So sounds to me like a big Klingon fuckfest. When you actually summon the god, he becomes the shape of a frost giant and has a big ass axe with him. So you can imagine what damage he can do. Besides of religion and race, you can change the voice of your character, which doesn't seem to make any sense, since in about 100 gaming hours I haven't heard my character speak once, so doesn't make any point. Next, we have all the cosmetic changes, from head, face, body hair to facial hair. You can pretty much change everything, even the height and the eye color. Even the eyeshadows can be changed, which I think is only useful when your character is wearing some sort of mask, like Batman. And of course, you can also change the entire body. You can put it taller or smaller, but here again, we have something I think it's absolutely useless. Why would you change your character's boobs? I mean, it looks just ridiculous, as you can see. I mean, I don't think it's any useful. And before starting the actual game, you get thrown into a kind of little intro when your own character meets Conan, maybe for the first time, who knows. And here you can see, once your character is finalized, that's a kind of a hangout you will see about him. A little recap what you did with your guy, how you put him together regarding your race and your religion, and why he is actually on the cross. And here you can see that's actually really funny. He's on the cross for freeing slaves, crude language, and punching a camel. That's really funny. You gotta take that.
During the year of the Cobra, a prisoner captured by unknown means was transported into the exiled lands, crucified, and left to die for crimes that they may or may not have committed. Death comes swiftly on black wings, until fate intervenes.
Are you thirsty, dead man? Shall I cut you down from that corpse tree? It might kill you. You civilized men are soft. Your lives are not nailed to your spines. Where I come from, we kill our enemies in battle. We don't leave them in the desert to die like dogs. So, you live again, dead man. This land does not love men. You are marked. You cannot cross the ghost fence wearing that. It might have been kinder to leave you on the cross. Live, love, burn with life, slay and survive. We will meet again, dead man.
So, we met Conan and he told us the bracelet your character is wearing doesn't allow you to cross certain areas. When you cross these areas, you will instantly die. Let's check out the in-game menu and the settings. Here you can remove the bracelet, which I cannot confirm 100%, but I think it will kill you. I'm gonna show that in later videos. But I think you can only safely remove it when you reached a certain level. Recreate your character is also an option. It deletes your current character but allows your new character to use all the tools and all the buildings you already built. We have the event log, but obviously still empty. The normal in-game settings is as in the original menu. Here we have the server settings as well, which I can highly recommend not to touch on the first time playing. It will make significant changes to the gameplay, so be really careful when doing it. I'm gonna make a specific video about it since it's a big subject and you can screw up a lot of for your game. So, and when pressing select in game, you will open the in game menu like inventory, skill points, feats, status, your journey, player clans, the followers, and the map. Skill points can be earned by doing tasks, killing creatures or enemies, or leveling up. You can spend them on strength, agility, or vitality, accuracy, the crit, carry weight, and the survival, which gives you a special ability once you fill the level line up. In the feats, you can see everything you can build, from building walls to tools, weapons, and even torture devices. It is well organized and split in different sections, as you can see on the screen right now. Unlock more items by leveling up. In the statistic, it pretty much shows you everything you need to know about your character. If he is sick, if he is ill, if he is hungry or thirsty, everything you need to know you can see in there. We're not gonna look into the clan and the follower options since I'm only playing solo and I don't think it's necessary at this stage. Which brings us to the last option. The last option in the in-game menu is the map. The map of Conan Exiles is quite big. There's a big variety of different scenarios. You have desert, you have jungle areas, you have big water areas, you have something which resembles the North Pole or something like that. There you have really cold areas, and as you can see around the river, it's the area where you start out pretty much, and it is one of the areas where it is easier. Where the dot is right now, there are two creatures next to the next to the little lake where the dot is right now, and where it was previously. There are two big crocs which can give you a big pain in the ass, so be careful when approaching these areas. The red area is a no-go zone, at least till level 50 or 60. There's no point going there sooner. Everything up north the river, or when you go over the mountains, there's no point going there unless you're level 50 or 60, everything above 50. Otherwise, you get instantly destroyed. There are some creatures which literally need one hit to completely destroy you, and then retrieving your stuff from there is just impossible. And another thing to mention, I think, and it's just a thought, Conan Exile has an actual storyline. Listen into the following.
Behold, bonded one, the very boundaries of civilization. Beyond the passage of our highways lie the wild places of the world, where untamed savages make endless war upon each other. You cannot pass into the endless wastes enslaved. Your bonding prevents it. Return Follow the road. Any road. All roads lead to the city.
There are many of those stone tablets all around the map. All of them reveal some kind of secret or information, so keep an eye out for them. Other than finding information, Conan requires you sometimes to think out of the box. For example, when approaching certain areas which have locked doors, don't be surprised when you need a blood sacrifice to open that door. Conan Exiles is a lot about gathering supplies. So you find yourself running through the wasteland or through the Exiles land to either chop wood or to mine for stone or any other minerals. Therefore, I would highly recommend you to get some kind of music tool like Spotify, and to put a playlist in the background, because Conan Exiles background music sometimes is simply a pair of drums playing, and after like 2 or 3 hours gathering supplies, it can be quite annoying. So keep that in mind as well. So, and the next thing we gonna check out is the building part. The building part is a big part of Conan Exiles, and here you can see the first thing you can build are the stone foundations, stone walls, and so ever. Everything made of stone you can pretty much build after, I'd say, the first 3 or 4 levels you reached. And here you can see it is quite expensive. It takes 35 rocks and 5 wood to create just one foundation. With one foundation you can get far, so you need to have at least 4. Taking that in consideration, you also need walls, door frame, door, and a box, you need a bedroll, and you need a roof. And here please keep in mind, take your time when building. When you build something and, for example, you put the roof on the wrong way, it is a pain in the ass to get rid of it, because right away you cannot destroy your own facilities. You need a specific axe for it, and just be careful when building. It can be a big pain in the ass when you gather all the supplies, all the wood, all the rock, and then you misbuild something and you have to just abandon it. It's not cool. And when building the first time, I recommend you don't go too fancy. Just build a couple walls, build the foundation, build the roof. When you build on top of something, you can't get attacked. Animals won't attack you anyways when you're inside something. And the non-playable characters running around, they don't climb, as far as I know. They just don't climb on top of buildings or on top of stones. So, and here you can see it again. With the difficulty level we chose at the beginning, even when building we gain XP. So some may think, okay, we don't need that. Some think it's good. To be honest, because for me that's the baseline experience of Conan, I always go with that one. Just simply because I think building also should give you XP. For me, that's completely fine, so I'm going with that. Also, when building, consider the box. The box takes a lot of wood as well as twines. As I already mentioned, twines can be built out of plant fiber. Plant fiber can be taken from bushes or some certain plants. Here you can see I'm just built the box. I got the door frame. All we need now is a little bonfire going on to cook our food on it. Cooking food is pretty simple. You need wood, you need the food, and of course you need a campfire. If you have the campfire, put the wood inside the menu of the campfire, which I'm gonna show you in a little bit. Once you have the campfire in it, put the meat in it and just cook it. It's really simple, really easy. When pressing the RB button, you will open the item wheel. In the item wheel you can see the items you can equip to your character. In this case you can see there is only food in it. That means the eggs, the bees, and the insects, the bugs, you can eat. And that's pretty much the way you do it. You scroll over it, and as you can see, you eat and eat. Here, please note, when you have any bees, further on you can do, like, you can build your own beehive and produce honey. So don't eat too many. You will definitely find them, but when it comes to myself, I never eat the bees. I always eat just the bugs, and the bees I keep just in case I want to make a few beehives to, as I said, produce honey. Making tools is as simple as just pressing a button. As you can see in the menu right now, all you gotta do is scroll over the item you want to build. Of course, you need to have the supplies to build it. In that case, as you can see, it's a twine. You can build the twine out of fiber, just plant fiber. You can pick pretty much from everywhere. Also, here you can see I just earned a couple additional points. Right away I spent the points. Where do you spend the points first? Well, usually I would say carry weight, but in games like Conan I'd rather go with let's say strength or maybe agility. Depends what kind of gaming style you are playing with. Here, as I say in all my videos, because things are working for me doesn't necessarily mean it will 100% work for you. I'm giving just tips and tricks. I'm not telling you how to do it exactly the same. So, as I said, try it. Maybe you find out some things which are working better for you. Let me know in the comments anyways what you prefer to build first, or what you do the first day on Conan. Other than gathering wood and minerals, you also need to look out for food and water. Food can be everything from turtle eggs you will find laying around in nests to big larvae. They will just crawl around in, well, wooded areas. But you will also be able to build traps to fish and get bigger animals all the way down when you level up. And the last two things we're gonna check out is fighting, building weapons, and cooking and eating the food. And here, first thing, the weapons. We have a big variety on pretty cool weapons, from axes to longswords to bows, shields, maces, and those two-handed sabers. As you can see, you have loads of different weapons you can build. You can also build attachment to weapons when you level up. The first few weapons, the best weapon at the beginning, I can just recommend you, is the stone dagger. The stone dagger pretty much has in each hand you have a dagger, and the way the character is dodging attacks with those daggers it's just overwhelming for the enemy, and especially those two daggers. When you fight with those two daggers and you make your first hit, it will then take specific amount of health from your opponent. So once you hit like an enemy or something, a creature or so, it will take health after the first hit. After every hit, it will take health automatically. So here you can see I'm about to approach one of those turtle creatures. With the I think LT button, you can log onto it and pretty much circle around. And with the B button, you can dodge. And this is actually pretty cool. Here with the daggers, you can see the health bar. Even if I'm leaving the enemy, it still takes health off him. So, as I said, I can just highly recommend it. Take it at the beginning. Those two daggers, they are super handy. And you have a special knife to gut or to cut animals to get meat. It will also work with the axe, as you can see right now, but you will accumulate more meat when you have the specific knife for it. So cooking with the cooking station or with the campfire is super easy. As I said before, all you need to do is add wood, add the meat, and turn it on with RT. That's it, and it's already cooking, and actually goes really fast compared to, for example, Stranded Deep. It's just in an instant you get the meat, and once you're in your menu, in your inventory menu, you can then log the meat to your wheel, your item wheel, and once you're in the menu, you can just go to your item wheel and take the meat and eat it. So guys, that was it for the first day in Conan Exiles. Super excited for this game. Looking forward to make loads of more videos about it. We go day by day. That's it for today. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for all your support. See you next time.